What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for checking in. In this video, we're going to go over SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF, and we're also going to go over our watch list for the week ahead. This watch list includes names like Tesla, Meta, Amazon, AMD, and Netflix. We're going to give you all the levels that you need for the stocks that we named. That way you know exactly where to enter, where to take profits, and where to cut losses if necessary. So let's go ahead and get started by first talking about SPY, and we're going to do so on the daily candles, where we can see that for the first time in 2023, the stock market has moved above the 420 level, and it actually made a new high for the entire year. So this is very impressive because through all the headwinds that we faced this year, between the war with Russia and Ukraine, between inflation, and most recently the banking crisis, the stock market has still managed to march on and make higher highs. So this could be largely attributed to the most recent impressive earnings from companies like Microsoft, from companies like Apple, companies like Google. So we can see after all those earnings, the market managed to move higher. And that's because the stock market is always going to be numbers driven. The short term may be driven by news or headlines, but the longer term will always move based on numbers and projections. So let's move on to SPY's short term candles and talk about some levels that we should be watching for the week ahead. So before we jump into that, we have to realize that there is going to be an economic front that we have to face. So on the economic front, the Federal Reserve will be releasing their minutes report on Wednesday. So considering Thursday and Friday we saw a multi-day strong upside rally, we are likely going to get a pullback on Monday and Tuesday ahead of the minutes report. Investors will likely be nervous before this minutes release, and they will likely take some profits on Thursday's and Friday's rally. Now, during this pullback, the most important level for us to stay above is going to be 414.30. If we move below that point, then we can sell off back down towards 408 to 410, but we are expecting the market to hold and we are expecting us to move higher. Now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be consolidation, and then we will likely move higher by end of week. When we are moving higher, we are looking for a breakout above 421.20 for us to move to a price target of around 424 to 425 on SPY, which will also be a new high for 2023. Now, also on the economic front, we will be expecting the PCE report to be expected this Friday. The PCE report is going to be the Federal Reserve's preferred gauge of inflation, and it has been coming down for the last 4 months. We can see that we have dropped little by little. So Friday, we are expecting another drop for April, and it will likely give more confidence to the market because inflation is on a track of cooling down. Now, moving on to our watch list, we're going to start with Tesla, where we can see that Tesla is brewing a very strong upside move. Tesla, unlike other tech stocks and growth stocks, has been lagging behind the market, but Thursday, Friday, we saw an increase in volume and the stock has moved back above its 50-day moving average. Now, with the 50-day moving average, institutionals use it as a gauge of whether the stock is in a bullish or a bearish trend. So now that the stock has moved back above this yellow line, we can expect the stock to move on and rally. These are the levels that we're watching for Tesla. Tesla is already considered in a bullish trend while it's trading above 176.30. In fact, we got into a call option in our group on Friday and we are ready to hold it throughout this week. The stock is looking for a breakout above 182.15 for it to move to a price target of around 186 to 187. Now, this is just a very short-term price target. We do expect Tesla to continue rallying for the next few weeks to few months, depending on overall market conditions. So be on the lookout for a big breakout from Tesla to catch up to the rest of the market. The next stock on our watch list is going to be Meta. Now, Meta has had a very strong year so far. You can see that they have been rallying since their last 2 earnings, and they are looking to make new higher highs for the year. So for Meta, these are the levels that we are watching. We're going to first talk about the 248.85 resistance. If we break above that level, then our price target is going to be anywhere between 252 to 253. We need Meta to hold above 240.70 in order for it to hold the most bullish range. If it moves below that level, then it can sell off towards the 235 area, but it won't really enter a very bearish trend until it moves below 230 and then it moves towards 222 to 224. We are leaning more bullish than bearish on Meta, considering it closed above 240 on Friday. Next stock we're watching is going to be Amazon. Amazon has had a very strong couple weeks. We are expecting a little bit of consolidation, but overall the stock is still holding a very bullish trend. For Amazon, these are the levels that we are watching. We need the stock to hold above 113 to be holding the most bullish trend it can. If it moves below that level, it doesn't mean it's ready to sell off just yet, but it could fall to test the 109 to 110 level. If it moves below 109.20, then it can potentially sell off and move back into a bearish trend. But as long as it's holding above 110, then we are strongly bullish on the stock. We would prefer to hold above 113. The next resistance in its way is going to be 119.75. Above that level, we're expecting the stock to move towards 121 to 122. Next up is AMD. This is the only semiconductor stock on our watch list, but we are watching all semiconductor stocks, companies like NVIDIA, Micron, and Intel. Those are all stocks that are likely going to be big winners of the AI movement, and AMD is looking like it's just getting started on its rally. Volume has been incredibly strong on the buying side, and you can see that on its consolidation on Friday, volume dropped, but it still built an inside day candle, which means that all these buyers are still very much holding the stock, and they will do so as long as the stock holds above the 100 level. 100 is going to act as a very strong psychological support for AMD, so if it breaks back below it, we can expect very steep sell-off. However, looks like on the 17th, the stock broke above 100, came down to retest it, and you can see that buyers were quick to come in and they bought it up. For AMD, we are looking for a breakout above 109.70 in order for it to move to a first price target of around 111.50 to 112. If it moves above that point, then we can expect the stock to rally on to 115 to 117, where we'll take the rest of our profits for the short term. If the stock moves back below 100, then we will short or take puts onto the stock to a level right around 196, and then a second price target around 93 to 94. Last but not least, the final stock on our watch list is going to be Netflix. Netflix has been on our watch list for the last 4 to 5 weeks. You can look back on our videos, and we have been saying that this stock is ready for a large upside move. And when Netflix rallies, it is known to rally aggressively. In fact, it rallied so hard on Thursday that it went from closing around 340 on Wednesday and then reaching a high of around 375 on Thursday, which is a phenomenal move for any stock. So Netflix on Friday consolidated and it pulled back. So some of the people that bought it on Thursday took some profits on Friday ahead of the weekend, which is completely understandable. But you'll notice that it closed near the highs either way, which means that Netflix could be brewing a higher move, and we are looking for a breakout above the 380 level for it to move towards the 398 to 400 level. So it is unlikely that Netflix will have this large of a move again anytime soon, but it will slowly crawl its way up towards the 400 level as long as it holds above 360 and breaks above 380. Now, if Netflix breaks below 360, then we will see an increased number of profit taking because people generally don't want to see the stock dipped that low into its rally. So if it dips below 360, it can sell off, but we wouldn't take puts on Netflix unless it moves back below 340. At that point, we would take puts and take profits right around 330. So that's all we have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.